should be recording right now. We got 40 minutes. So what's going on, guys? My name is Efren. I got Gustavo over here. And Gustavo, I know you're a CISO right now, but can you tell me a little bit about yourself and how you started this journey and what was your process through this?
Sure. Hey, Efren. Nice to see you again, and thanks for the invite and to be part of your podcast. So,
Thank you.
nice to meet everyone. Gustavo Mastroianni, Chief Information Security Officer at Schools Insurance Authority. So, talking a little bit more about my journey. I started my IT career back in 2006 as a network technician. I'm originally from Brazil. But I've been living here in the US since December 2017. My career was really laser focused on networking and wireless since 2006. And
Yeah, I
when
did
I
see your
moved,
LinkedIn. Your LinkedIn is
yeah,
very impressive on that. Very impressive. I was a little mind blown right there, man. So much experience and so much network experience for sure.
yeah. I really love networking. I love dissecting protocols. I love traffic analysis. So this was something that I really enjoyed doing before I started my journey in cybersecurity, which happened the pivotal time when I decided to not to not fully transition, but starting to learn more about cybersecurity was back in January 2018. Right after I moved to the US, the CEO of the company that hired me, that I was working for, he wanted to create a cybersecurity division for the MSP. And
Mm.
he came up to me and said, "Hey, you want to build that with me?" And I said, "Let's do it." It took me a week to decide whether I was going to do it or not because it was going to be a lot of work, a lot of um, studying a lot of things that would change my career. So after a week, I told him, "Hey, yes, let's do it." So I started building the cybersecurity division, building a cybersecurity program that we could offer to our clients, and I was the only one pretty much doing everything, of course, with the help of some of the team members and with the help of the CEO as well. But the majority of the work was done by me, where I was testing products, testing vendors, testing new tools, integrating it, ensuring that we would be able to offer the best security program to our clients. And starting in mid 2019, that's when we got our first client, our first managed security services client. And from that point on, we started growing. And then in late 2020, we hired someone else to help me out. And then in January 2021, we hired another person. And fast forwarding to July 2022, where we spun that cybersecurity division off of the MSP and created a MSSP company. And
Mm.
at that point, we already have a full SOC team. It was not 24/7, meaning there was not like people on checking alerts at 24/7, but our monitoring services and alerting was 24/7 all the time, until after a year and a half later, we were able to build after a year and a half later, we were able to build a full 24/7 SOC with people in front of the screen, watching for alerts, investigating, and all of that. And after that, I joined Schools Insurance Authority in April 2024. I was hired to enhance and create a cybersecurity program for SIA, and also to create a cybersecurity program and optimize, implement, and all of those things for about 34 school districts that are member of our JPA, and JPA stands for Joint Powers Authority, within our cyber insurance program, since we offer cyber insurance to those 34 school districts within the Sacramento area, mostly.
Okay, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. I know you mentioned that Elk Grove is one of your biggest clients, right? Elk Grove
Yeah,
and
Elk
other
Grove is
people.
one of our clients,
From
and
Sacramento.
one of the biggest ones, of course. And we also have El Dorado County Office of Education,
Mm.
Sacramento County Office of Education, and probably 30 more school districts, which gives us a total of about 330,000
Oh shoot.
people, which
Yeah.
includes students, teachers, and staff.
That's amazing. That's amazing. That's amazing to have that to just have that so much responsibility and building up your team and stuff like that. What I know that you're still in a transition to get your team and everything. Do you think this transition is going to be happening pretty soon for to get your team, or is it still going to be a process that you're going for?
Yeah, it's going to be a process. I believe that if we execute our plan well and to make sure that we are successful within the next 2 to 3 years, we're going to be able to build a team of
Mm-hmm.
people, SOC 24/7, with professional services as well, such as security and risk assessments and pen tests, and
Okay,
also virtual CISO services. Um,
so it's going to be
so
well established, huh? Well
yeah,
established with everything.
yes, that's the idea. Not only managed security services, but also professional services as well. A combination of those two things um, helps us to fully understand the cybersecurity overview of those of our members, but also
Okay.
gives us the opportunity to keep our members accountable and making sure that they are being watched as much as possible, and they security controls are being implemented well, and
Mm-hmm.
being optimized as much as we can.
Okay, okay. I know you mentioned it because you had also a background of your of networking through this whole process. Do you think you're gonna have any implementations or any teams that have like any network backgrounds or just mostly like cybersecurity backgrounds?
Well, in my opinion, whenever you're breaking into cybersecurity or whenever you are in cybersecurity, you must have some networking background and also systems background. So uh, anyone who is in cybersecurity nowadays and who we believe that has some experience and, and understand cybersecurity and how it works should have networking background, knowledge, full extensive knowledge on protocols,
Mm-hmm.
because at the end of the day, whenever you're digging deep into a investigation,
Uh-huh.
there will be times where knowledge of the protocol and how it works will be key to the success of that investigation. It's not only about the tools that we may have implemented and the combination and the orchestration of those tools and integrations as well, but also people who are behind the keyboard with knowledge of cybersecurity and knowledge of networking fundamentals and protocols. It will help to mix and get the best results of any investigation out there. So we don't relying on tools only. It's not a good idea.
Oh, okay, okay. So pretty much your whole journey helped you through your networking. It pretty much transitioned to your cybersecurity role or CISO role, right? It was a
Yeah.
big it built up a lot of the foundation of it.
Yes, for sure. It helped me a lot because when you have knowledge in networking, you pretty much have also knowledge in network security. So that was one thing that I somewhat mastered when I jumped to the cybersecurity field. But everything else I had to learn, I had to study, I had to take certification exams, I had to take trainings, I read a lot of books uh, to fully understand. And also, I put myself out there. I was out of my comfort zone multiple times
Hmm.
to make sure that I can get the experience that I needed to not only um, build our cybersecurity program and then our cybersecurity division and then a cybersecurity company, but
Uh-huh.
also to have a intelligent conversation with people who are both technical and non-technical. And that's how I decided to move into a uh, leadership role. That because I thought that I could be useful with my technical knowledge and also with my non-technical approach on risk in cybersecurity.
Okay, okay. That's awesome. Awesome story for sure. So I know we have a list of questions. So now I'm gonna ask you because we pretty much got your journey of your CISO and how everything started, your foundation. So during your whole process, what do you think is a good framework, or what do you recommend? I know you mentioned last time that you had like the NIST and the CIS. Can you explain a little bit more of that and why? What would you choose those, or you have any other ones that you think you recommend?
Yeah, so choosing a framework for your organization, it has to align to your business goals and to your industry as well. NIST is well known to is a well-known organization that they published multiple frameworks, and those frameworks are suitable to different organizations, either by the industry or by the size of the organization, and whether you have to abide to any kind of regulation out there. But NIST Cybersecurity Framework 2.0 is a great example of a somewhat agnostic framework that could be used by the majority of the organizations out there. Although they have a lot of controls, and there are a total of 106 controls divided into 22 families, and those 22 families are divided into 6 security functions. And those security functions on the cybersecurity framework are govern, which is the newest one that was added
Okay,
on the
okay.
2.0 version.
Yeah,
Before
I
that,
seen
on the
that.
1.0 version, there was no govern function. And
Hmm.
then you have the identify, detect, protect, respond, and recover. So that approach is a layered approach, which when I was building the cybersecurity division, we did the same approach, which is the defense in depth approach. That
Okay,
approach
okay.
is you add layers of security, so you lower your risk of being um, attacked by a malicious actor, and helps you and gives you time to either detect, protect, respond to any kind of a security incident that might be happening or might happen within your organization. So that's the NIST Cybersecurity Framework 2.0. There is also the CIS controls
Okay.
that are that it was released by the Center of Internet Security. On that, there are a total of 18 controls. And if you are a government organization, you have free access to those resources. If you're on the private organization, you have to pay a membership fee, but I can assure you that those controls, the resources that they have for you to implement within your environment are pretty good. And
Okay.
I would highly recommend using CIS controls as well. So a combination of those two are would be a best for the majority of the organizations out there. Of course, if you work for the federal government or DoD, you would have to abide to the CMMC, which is based
Okay,
out of
okay.
the NIST 800-171 Revision 2 framework. If you're a highly secret organization that provides services to the federal government, maybe you have to abide to a different framework, which would be like the NIST 853 Revision 5. And other than that, besides the frameworks, you have regulations, right? Such as HIPAA or PCI, ISO, the series of ISO 27000. And those are the main ones that are out there as well.
Okay, okay. So your recommendation is at least to have two frameworks, or not just depend on one, have multiple ones, or something that you
Well,
can work with.
yeah, start with one maybe,
Uh-huh.
and then if you see that if there are any gaps with that one that you want to implement within your organization, you might use a combination of two. But either NIST, Cybersecurity Framework 2.0, or CIS would be like, it would give you a very strong foundation uh, to implement cybersecurity controls and create a cybersecurity program within the organization that we work for or for your clients.
That's good to know. I didn't think about that. I know there's places that only depend on one, but this is interesting to having two of them. Is at least there's it kind of patches the holes, right?
Yeah, yeah. There's
That's
no
cool. That's
silver
cool.
bullet out there.
Yeah, that is true. There's nothing. Nothing's perfect, man. There's always something. I like that. So I know we're going for the third question. So what is your recommendation right now? So do you think GRC would be a good entry level, or going to the cyber would be a good entry level? What would be the what would be the difference to get? How hard it is? How hard is it to get in GRC or cyber? What would you be your recommendations, and why?
Well, I'll there's no I can't give a recommendation because that's also a personal choice. It all depends on what you get excited with.
Mm.
If you want to get down the rabbit hole, di- go deep into the weeds, maybe the best route is to look for cybersecurity roles, such as a SOC analyst or SOC engineer, instant responder, or penetration tester. Those kind of roles where it would be more exciting for you.
Mhm.
Um, because when it comes to GRC, it is more focused on auditing and assessments and ensuring that controls based on frameworks are being implemented, and you can show that those controls are implemented well, and then you have to show evidence of those controls. Uh, those paths, I would say, they cross with each other at some point when you're growing within your career.
Mhm.
When you want to become a leader within cybersecurity, because it's important for you to know uh, the technical side of it, meaning like the day-to-day, the operations, and what managed security services can provide to you. And but also on the other side, in GRC, sometimes you have to abide to regulations, and you got to make sure that some controls are well implemented, and gives you the ability to focus on things that matters to the organization. Remember that you have to balance business needs and business goals with your cybersecurity needs and goals. That's the one. That's a great way for you to secure budget whenever you need to create a new project or uh, um, implement a new project. And on the
Mhm.
GRC side, it gives you the ability to understand how a security and risk assessment works, how
Okay.
how the auditors or the assessors work, what do they do when they come in to your environment and start poking around and see where the security controls are well implemented, see where are the deficiencies of the security controls that should be in place, always by following some kind of a framework. So the combination of those two things gives you the ability, when you want to be a leader in cybersecurity, gives you the ability to understand both sides and understand how difficult that implementing a control, or how easy it is to implement a control, but also abiding to frameworks or regulations that are out there. So at the end of the day, the recommendation is follow your heart and follow what it most excites you when you start your day 7 or 8 o'clock in the morning, and when you finish up your day as well, and you can say, yes, I did a great job today, I love what I do, let's
Yeah,
get ready for the next day.
that's awesome. That's awesome. So basically, the GRC is more of like the auditing, the more of like auditing, validation, and policies, right? That's more of like the GRC,
Yeah,
GRC
creating
route.
policies such as incident response plans,
Okay.
backup disaster recovery plan,
Okay.
business continuity plan. All of those things are also part of the GRC as well.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
And the cyber would be more of like the whole technical aspect of it. You more trying to see, gonna dig around, the more of like the hacker perspective.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because that's where the rubber meets the road, right?
Yes.
That's where
Yeah.
you're like, okay, let's do some investigation. Let's counterattack, or let's respond to an incident.
Uh-huh.
That's, at the end of the day, most of the cyber, if not all of the cybersecurity roles, are related to technical people that want to be part of a technical team.
Okay. Okay. So somebody like, let's say an example, somebody that's just coming in that doesn't know much about computers and just wants to get into cyber, or some type of some auditing, you recommend them going to more GRC, right? That would be more of the recommendation. They don't have no much of a background of IT, but they want to go towards something like
Maybe if they
that.
have, yeah, maybe if they have some kind of experience with auditing or dealing with auditors or
Mhm.
frameworks, even if it's in a different industry,
Mhm.
that would be helpful. And I would say that would be a better career path to follow, instead of trying to learn a lot on the technical side
Yes.
and getting into an entry level position. So again, what excites you the most? Is it
Yes.
that feeling where things are something is happening and I need to investigate what's going on, or it's
Yes.
pretty much like I want to come in, see what's good and what's not good, and
Uh-huh.
explain to the client, hey, you have some holes here, you have some vulnerabilities here, you have some deficiencies on a few security controls. Let's try to fix that as much as we can, as in the best way we can,
Mhm.
by balancing security and business needs.
Okay, okay. I like that. So yeah, because I've talked to a lot of people like that, and they've always asked me like, "Hey, how can I get in GRC?" It was like, "Look, to be completely honest, I never worked in GRC, but I told them a cyber is a little bit. I know for sure it's more technical and more investigating and more like kind of deep, getting in deep into the scenarios and situations. So
Yeah.
yeah, I like that a lot. Um, so another question: what industry will you grow more into cyber, and like in what departments or what areas? Will it be more like the healthcare, schools, government? What would be like the things that might grow a little bit more, or you think it's going to be a huge growth of it?
So, in my opinion, if you want to grow within cybersecurity, you got to work for other people, meaning that you got to have clients, because that helps you to have different points of view. It helps you to understand different environments. It
Mhm.
helps you to deal with different problems. So If you're working for a MSP, managed services provider, or if you're working for an MSSP, managed security service provider, that will give you the experience that you probably would not get in small to medium-sized businesses out there.
Okay. Yes.
But if you work for a larger organization, such as large hospital chain out there, or maybe a large government organization, or maybe a tech company as well, but they are large enough to give you the breadth of experience that you would need as you're breaking into cybersecurity, that would be the best way to go. But also, I would say working for an MSSP or MSP will give you the ability to see different problems and get that experience that you probably would not get in other organizations out there, because MSPs and MSSPs, they usually are using the latest and most stable technology that it's out there. Some MSPs, they like to be at the cutting edge. Some prefer to have a stable environment where they can perform their work and their service to their clients well. But immersing yourself into that industry will help you to achieve things that you would probably think that would not be achievable in a time frame that you would not expect to achieve. So, and that happened to me. So I'm just speaking for myself right now, but working for MSPs and MSSPs my whole life helped me to get way more experience than I would ever imagine if I would be working for one organization that can have an internal IT or internal cybersecurity department, because you deal with different people, you deal with different problems, and you deal with different industries as well.
Okay. Okay. I've seen that. I'm a huge believer through the MSP route. So I know a lot of people don't like it and dislike it for the perspective that they may think that, hey, you know what, MSP doesn't do this, or they don't need this, or why should you go to that route? I believe the video was cutting off. Can you hear me still?
I can still hear you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So I was thinking. So yeah, I'm a big believer on the MSP. So a lot of people think that, like, oh, you know what? If you start with an MSP, you're not gonna be able to grow. But I believe you're exposed to a lot more more opportunities, more technical aspects, more tools for sure, more tools, and exposed to a lot more industries as well. So you're kind of
Yeah.
exposed to a little bit of everything. So it may be a little bit more tough in the beginning because you can be a desktop support and they'll throw you to through networking or cybersecurity, but you're pretty much build those experiences right there with them.
Yeah, that's
Am
true.
am I
And
wrong or something?
you are right, but one thing that I would like to say to you is growth, it mostly will rely on you and what you do. Of course, you have to be at a place that gives you the opportunity to grow, but if you're not willing to grow, nobody's going to give you the opportunity to grow.
Yes.
So mostly it's your responsibility. You have to take ownership of your growth. When you take
Yes.
ownership of your growth, then you show that to the people that you report to and people who you work with. And at that point, they will see that you are willing to to go that extra mile, to step outside of your comfort zone and get your hands dirty to ensure that you're willing to go to the next level as soon as it possibly can, depending on the opportunities that the organization have at that time.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I could definitely see that. I could definitely see the change and the growth on there. And I believe I'm a huge believer that opportunities don't really come to you. You have to kind of like go look for it and work for it so you can start growing into that. Do you think that was your perspective too? You kind of had to work for it and show yourself that you're willing to grow or willing
100%.
to learn?
Always,
Yes.
always, always. That's the only way to grow. And it's not only cybersecurity, that's in every industry and profession out there. If you're willing to grow, if you're willing to step outside of your comfort zone, you will grow. It takes time, but as soon as you start seeing the results, you see, yeah, I'm not going to stop. I'm just going to go, go, go. So,
Yes.
and you keep moving forward, you keep moving towards your final goal, and you're going to get there no matter what. Just don't
Mm.
stop.
So yeah, that I'm a huge believer on that. So I know a lot of people that I know, and I've talked to many people that they expect the opportunities to be given to them because they have the experience or they have this. But sometimes I feel like you got to stand out a little bit more, be a little bit more different from other people. You might be the smartest person, but if you don't talk or communicate, the opportunity is not going to come to you. You got to look for it. You got to talk to. You got
True.
to talk to people like this. Like for me and you, you approached me. We started chatting. With it, I started chatting with you. Told you about the opportunities. Like, hey, you willing to get in the podcast? Sure, let's do it. And now
Yeah.
we're here.
Exactly. And that's how I see things. I'm always willing to step outside of my comfort zone, not too
Mhm.
far, but enough for me to get uncomfortable and enough for me to grow uh, steadily and not like a spike, like having a spike, but whenever it is constant, whenever you have the resilience to grow and keep it up, that final goal of yours, you will achieve it no matter what. It takes time. For some people, they might be quicker, for some might be slower, but at the end of the day, you'll get there no matter what.
That's good. That's a good perspective. Even from you, just hearing it from you, that shows the proof right there that it's possible.
It is.
Okay, so now we're going to we got a few more minutes. If not, we'll make another call and get this extended.
Okay.
Um, do you recommend any leadership skills or cybersecurity in your professional, or is it better just having a technical skills? I know we pretty much had that category right now, but do you think that having some leadership skills would be good to have? Makes you unique too, as well. Is there anything
Yeah,
different?
yeah, for sure. Of course, not all everyone out there wants to be a leader or having some leadership skills, but I believe that if you want to grow, even as a technical person, you gotta have some leadership skills because when it comes to a true security incident, a true positive, and you have to respond to it, and if you're the most experienced person, the experienced cybersecurity engineer or incident responder, you got to
Mhm.
have some leadership skills. Uh, and there are some skills that are important when you want to become a leader. A few of them is like take responsibility, right? If you want to be a leader, you have to take responsibility. You're leading a team. So
Mhm.
whenever you're leading a team, you are responsible for that team, right?
Okay, okay.
Making sure that you take ownership of everything that happens within your team. And know also a leader should know how to prioritize. There are going to be situations or tough decisions that are going to have to be made where a decision has to be made and you have to prioritize based on that decision. You can't do everything at the same time. You can do everything, but you cannot do, it's impossible to do everything at the same time. So that's why you have to prioritize. There's that rule, the 80-20 rule, right? Where you do 80% of things that you got to do that gives in 20% of the time. So you're
Okay.
making sure that you do the most, everything you can at the lowest amount of time. Okay.
Okay,
And when
okay.
you're a leader, you have to be able to communicate well because when you need something to get it done or you need because of if there is a mandate or if there is a need to do that right at that moment, you have to communicate it well and be clear with your team. Being clear helps you to achieve your goals and also helps your team to be successful. And one of those situations is when you're leading by example, right? And you're
Hmm.
leading by example. If you're able to, everything you preach, you do within your life, then people are going to start to see those things. And then they will say, okay, he's a good leader because he tells me to do one thing. And when there is a similar situation and he needs to do something, he also does that way. So he actually is leading by example. As a leader, you cannot take everything on you. You can't do everything for your team. You have
Hmm.
to decentralize your command, meaning that you have to rely on other people to achieve your goal as a business. You have to make sure that you get some help from other people within your team so you are able to decentralize that and not getting everything to you and you own everything. You may own the full extent of the process, but there will be parts of where you will have to decentralize your command. In other words, you have to delegate some of those tasks and responsibilities.
Okay,
And
okay.
one of the things that I would say that's the most important one, it would be learn from your mistakes. You will make mistakes, absolutely, but you have to learn from those mistakes, right? For
Yes.
when you make a mistake, you have to assess your mistake, see what can be done to mitigate or to fix that mistake, create a plan to mitigate that mistake. And the most important thing is execution, right? When we talk about execution, means that you're actually doing something to make it happen. Anyone can talk, anyone can say that they do something, but when it comes to execution, that's the most important thing. That's where you will see that the difference between someone who only says what they do compared to someone who says and execute on everything they say. So
Mm.
that would be like my take on it.
Okay, okay. So that definitely the execution is one of the biggest parts for anything.
Yes, it is. Not only executing for yourself, but also executing for your team and for the organization that you work for.
Okay. So in that perspective, how would you approach that? Like, I know as a CISO, it can be a little bit frustrating, it can be a little bit complicated, things like that. What would be your thought process of this? Like, like where what would be your thought process of starting the phase and how would you transition to that? So to that execution.
Well, one of the points of leadership, communication, right? Communicate it well.
Mhm.
Make sure that uh, you lay all of the goals and the tasks to everyone. Make sure that you decentralize your command. In other words, delegate those tasks and ensure that people are taking ownership of those tasks and responsibilities. So whenever there is a failure, that person should take responsibility of that failure, take ownership of it. But how is he or she going to turn that self over to something that it should get it done? Meaning that how can you get out of a failed execution and turn that into a successful execution? What's the plan? When
Mhm.
you're going to do it? What do you need to execute that plan and to be successful? Uh, that's one of the things that whenever you have a team, you have to communicate it well down the chain, but also you have to really understand the business goals that you were trying to put it out there. And if things change, it change. Uh, let's just deal with it. nothing in life is steady. There will be ups and downs.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of the day, and how you deal with those ups and downs, it's how it will help your career path to either be successful or not, and we in everything you do in life.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So yeah, I can see it. I can see definitely things going up and down in life, and I believe like especially in IT is one of the common things. Like it's gonna work perfectly fine, and out of nowhere something just goes down. It's a common
Exactly.
thing, and I can
Hmm.
see that security going on too. So yeah, I can see that going on in this implementation and everything. Um, do you think there's a lot of up in the I mean a lot of things that you has to be changed around during the process, or is there stuff that when the CEO just comes in like, hey, we need to change this? Does this happen constantly with you guys or no?
Well, it all depends on the leader, and it all depends on where the organization is moving towards to, right?
Okay.
Having a 1, 3, and 5 year plan helps you to steer your security program or steer your execution
Mm,
towards the organization's goal. The 1 year plan should not have a lot of changes, mainly because it is in 1 year, right? So you should be assertive whenever you create your 1 year plan. On the 3 year plan, there is room for improvements. There is room for changes, mainly because it is a 3 year plan. So there will be changes because the threat landscape out there changes every day. New technologies are coming in with the addition of AI. AI is growing rapidly. It is becoming uh, one of the most interesting things that are out there. So you have to understand AI as well. So a 3 year plan will have changes for sure. And the 5 year plan, it's also something that you have to keep in mind that it will change. It
there
may
will be
change
some
every
changes.
year. There will be
Yeah,
some changes, but I would say for the 1 year plan should not have many changes.
almost.
Should be like pretty accurate
Okay.
because you don't have a lot of time to steer that ship to where you want to steer to, because you may be
Mm,
in the middle of the project, and the requirements that are changing or possibly changing are going to be difficult to be met in a
mm.
short period of time. So being accurate on your 1 year will take you to this path of success, to your 3 year plan and to your 5 year plan.
That makes sense. I never thought about it like that. I'm still like
Yeah.
new to this like the organization outfield and everything. So this is interesting to me, even from my perspective. I didn't never thought about there was like I thought about a 1 year plan. I just never thought there was gonna be like a 3 year, 5 year, or etc. But that's
Hmm.
pretty awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
What do you, I know you were talking about AI right now. What do you think? This is off the subjects too, so this is not part of the question. But my question would be like, what do you think about the AI? You think it's gonna be a help for cybersecurity, or you think it's gonna be more against it, or how would you see that in the future? I know
Uh,
everything's so
it,
fresh. I
yeah.
know everything's so fresh. We can't give an accurate answer, but in your opinion.
It's gonna take both sides of the coin, right? So it will be used for the good, but it will also be used for the bad. Um, but as an organization, you have to think on how AI will help you to be more productive, how
Mhm.
AI will help your employees to be more productive, and how AI will help the clients of your organization to be more productive as well. But you have to think about security when it comes to AI, implement policies, implement labels, have a very tight access control, uh, which will help you to achieve AI as you might want as of today. There's a lot going on around AI. There are a lot of products out there. We all know about Chat GPT, Gemini,
Mhm.
Copilot. Um, there will be one AI product that will help you to achieve
Okay.
your goals. So it's going to take time. I think AI it has a similar path as cloud had in the past,
Okay.
mainly because a lot of people are skeptical still,
Yeah.
but some want to be at the cutting edge of the technology.
Uh-huh.
So at the end of the day, I believe that AI will be helpful, and for those who are listening to this, use AI to your benefit. Understand how it works and use it to help you to be more productive. Don't rely on it, but use to augment your knowledge, use to augment your experience, and to be more effective in your job. Um, AI can replace people, but if you know how to work with it, you will probably not be replaceable. Oh,
Okay. Good to
yeah.
know. Good to know about that. I never thought about that, but that is a good thought about it. Cause yeah, that would be a good way. That would be another niche right there for cybersecurity, just to get the experience of AIs and understand how the aspects works and everything. That's a pretty good point of view. I never thought about that. But
Yeah.
I did have a thought that maybe AI might replace some programmers, some roles, some different roles. That all depends on what you're looking for. But yeah, I can see AI trying to take over some things.
Mhm.
Um, so yeah, we're just going back to the question. So um, after all this stuff, what is it? What would you expect from somebody, or what if you're in the hiring process? Would you get somebody for certifications or experiences? Do you think that which is more valuable on these perspectives?
It all depends on the role that you are hiring for. Um, a combination of both is always the ideal. Um, but let's say that if you're applying for a entry level job, my expectation from you is that you have uh, theory experience, well, theory knowledge, not experience, but theory knowledge,
Mm-hmm.
meaning that you know the foundations of networking, you know the foundations of systems, you know how protocol works, you know what TCP and UDP is, you know some port numbers out there on the systems, you know a little bit more about Microsoft, you know Linux, Unix, some command lines and all of that. But at the end of the day, and also if you're doing some hard work, meaning that you are going after certifications, if you have your degree, awesome. I'm all for it. I'm all for education. I'll never tell someone do not go after a college or university degree. Do whatever it's best for you, and I always support whatever you think it's best for you. I have a bachelor's degree. I have an MBA. I have multiple certifications. That was me. You may be different.
Mm,
You may be more intelligent. You may be smarter, and you don't need all those certifications, but you may need some experience.
mm,
So for an entry level job, a combination of uh, fundamental certifications out there, such as Security Plus, CC from ISC Square, CCNA from Cisco, um, the Azure Fundamentals, AWS Fundamentals, Microsoft Servers. All of those certifications will help you to get an entry level job. Also, be different, meaning that stand out from other people that are out there. Build your own lab. Nowadays, you have way more opportunities to build your own lab at a very low cost, sometimes even for free. So it's
Yeah.
only a matter of wanting to be there, wanting to get your hands dirty, and then that's how I believe a combination of theory, fundamentals, and foundation, compounded with some hands-on experience in labs, will help you to have a greater chance to get a entry-level job in cybersecurity. I also would recommend you to get some entry-level job in IT, because that will give you the experience that some hiring managers are looking for. And that, of course,
Okay.
will bump your starting salary because you already have the experience.
Okay.
If you were looking for an experienced person, with 3 to 5 years of experience, that would be like an instant responder or engineer. Yeah, of course, experience is a must, right? Knowing what you have to do, have gone through different situations, troubleshooting, investigation, responding to incidents. That's key when you're selecting the proper cybersecurity engineer for your team. Once again, certifications and degrees, they are awesome. The more, the better, because as long as you're able to prove that you know what you're claiming you have, like all your degree, your certifications, and your experience as well. So, I mean, there's a point in life where the combination of both certifications and college degrees and experience would be like your best, the best thing that you can get out of a career path.
Okay. So you pretty much recommend both of them if you have the chance, if not at least kind of build up your foundation on experience and stuff. And
Mm-hmm.
this is coming out from you from that you're studying, well, not studying, you work at a university, being as a professor, right?
Yep.
The
Yeah.
professor.
So go
Yeah,
ahead.
that's good. That's good to know that at least we're getting validation. We're getting good information from even from a professor that you're like, hey, you know what, I'm a professor, but I also believe that you should get the experience to get to get to the role. And like you mentioned, there's a lot of home labs. I personally use a program software. It's called Unraid. There's TrueNAS for like all these random servers that you can build up with virtual machines, Dockers, what is it, firewalls. You can do a lot of stuff. So there's a lot of cool programs. I know for you it's a whole different thing because you're working on real enterprise situations. We're pretty for somebody as home labbers, we're pretty much have the simple stuff, but we're all growing through it.
Yeah. And back in the
Yeah.
day, I had my own home lab as well. So
Oh yeah.
I did, and it was like real hardware, like switches and routers.
Yeah.
Of course, I would use virtual routers at some point, but there was a time where I was using real hardware, real cables, plugging in
Mm.
cables out there, and the real softwares running on those hardware. So again, it takes time, it takes perseverance, but if you can do it, if you're able to do it, I know that sometimes things are difficult, but
Mhm.
just don't delay too much. Try what you can, whatever you can, do whatever you can, ask people. I'm sure that other people will help you. The cybersecurity community, they are very helpful with each other. And mainly, I would say in the Sacramento area as well, I've been attending events for the past year in Sacramento area, and I truly believe that our community out there, they are very helpful with each other. So just ask
Yeah.
questions, ask if for help, because someone will help you.
Yes. And that's pretty much how we met too. It was going through that community base. We went to the
Hmm.
IAC Square, and that's what pretty much where we met. And yeah, that was pretty cool. It was awesome. Definitely liked the event, and yeah, I'm gonna be definitely going to the next ones. And Isaka is one of them that I'm trying to go to, so we'll definitely check that one out.
Awesome.
But yeah, that's pretty cool, man. That's pretty cool. I know you mentioned about your labs. Do you still currently have a lab, or you just kind of like you're done with your labs and now you're just implementing real
Not anymore.
real
Not anymore. I don't
enterprise?
have any more labs. I'm I'm not gonna say I'm done, but I don't as of
You don't
now
have
I don't
to.
have any labs, and from time to time I can we have a lab environment at work, so I can
Okay.
use that, but I don't have my own home lab where I can tinker around and break stuff and unbreak it.
Yeah.
In that case, I'm out of that uh, let's say area right now.
Mhm.
I'm more focused on different things, on implementing and optimizing and ensuring that our security programs are being implemented well.
That's good. That's good. That's good
Yeah.
to know. That's good to know. So yeah, we're going for the seventh question. So what is what I know a lot of people think for the pay rates. So a lot of people are thinking like when you get into the cybersecurity, you're already making 120 grand a month. I mean 120 grand a year, or maybe 200K, or there, I don't know. They come out with some exaggeration numbers. What do you think of what is reasonable, and why is it to that price right now?
So when it comes to the starting salary, there are different factors that you have to
Mhm.
take into account, right? For example, the state that you are living in, the county that you're living in, the city that you're living in, mainly because the cost of living will be taken into account. Also, if you have to commute every day or do some kind of a hybrid approach, if you're remote, that also counts. Also, your experience, your certifications, your degrees, how good you are, if you're a good person, not only a good professional, but a good person. All of those things are part of the mix and how to define a starting salary for an entry level cybersecurity position.
Mhm.
I've seen out there the starting salary being 50K per year,
Okay.
all the way up to 70K.
Okay.
Okay. And again, because you have that difference of locations where the person lives or where
Yes.
the organization is based out of.
Mhm.
So we have to take that into account. So that kind of a range, it's a good starting range uh, for you to be at a cybersecurity entry level position.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, that makes
Yeah.
sense. That makes a lot of sense because I know where we're based right now in California. So in California, we're of course, or everything's more expensive over here, and of course that pay has to be more,
Mhm.
has to be a lot more.
Yeah.
So yeah, I can see that understanding. Let's say like we're going to, I don't know, Utah or Texas. It might be the pay rate's going to be lower, so it might be around those ranges. So I could definitely see that. And do you think it's gonna end up growing more in the years, or is it gonna stay stable, or is it gonna? You think it's or it's just a trend that's coming out for the pay rates,
Uh,
or it's pretty much like you have to level up, so you have to go into different positions to go to get more.
you're probably going to have to grow into a different position. But I think the pay rate will remain the same within the
Mhm.
next 2 to 3 years. And the reason why is because there are so many, uh, I'm going to call it institutions that are providing cybersecurity trainings out there. And
Mm.
sometimes those institutions are not well known or well recognized, and they do not uh, graduate people
Oh, okay.
that are really ready to be a cybersecurity analyst. So, and that's why I believe that in the next 2 to 3 years, the rate is going to remain the same because of that shortage that we are having right now. And again, you only be part of that shortage if you don't know the fundamentals or the foundations. If you know the fundamentals, people will see that, and it makes a difference. So don't try to cut corners. Don't try to take shortcuts. Do what you need to do to have a great and solid foundation, because that can and will take you anywhere you want in the IT and or the cybersecurity industry, because that's key for your success in the mid and long-term future. Don't try to cut
Oh,
corners for short-term success. That short-term success, it's going to be the first year, maybe the second year, but then
gonna get cut off
when
quick.
you're needed and you don't have that foundation, yeah, you're
Yeah.
probably going to be not in a good position within your organization.
Like some people say easy come, easy go.
Yep,
So
absolutely.
easy come, easy go. So
Absolutely.
yeah, I could definitely see that going on. And I think that's been related even to IT too. A lot of people pretty
Mhm.
much think they have the certifications and they get their basic A plus or N plus or something for IT, and they start getting to that route, but they really get into the field. They don't understand what's going on. They understand everything on the books, but they don't understand the real life hardware, the real life scenarios, what could really happen, and what's going on. So it's a whole different thing from a books or like you say institutes, or it's just a whole different thing. It's
Yep.
like blue and red, two different things. You're learning different things. So yeah, I
Exactly.
do see that. I do see that. Uh, so what else? What trends do you see in the future of cybersecurity? Is there, and do you see any up and downs on these roles by any chance, or anything like what is something that you think that cybersecurity might affect us? Or I mean, what maybe AI might affect us, or these certifications might affect us? What would be the what's the trend for the future?
AI is going to be a big thing. Well, it is a big thing now, but it's going to become even bigger for the next few years. Also, identity and access management, that's going to be big. Remember, if you may have all of the tools to detect and protect your network, but you don't have a robust identity and access management to actually protect credentials from your employees, from your users, from your IT admins, from the services that you run in your environment. No matter what, doesn't matter if you have the best SIEM or best EDR out there. If you don't have a good identity and access management control in place, that's also going to be your cybersecurity program will be doomed to fail. So in my opinion, is those two things, AI and IAM, identity and access management. Those two things will be key for the success of the of any organization out there for the next 2 to 3 years. Then we'll see if there is anything else that is out there, any new trend or any new technology
Yeah.
that is going to be spun up. But at the end of the day, those two things are very important. And also, I'm very big on detection. So being in the know of the threat landscape, it's always important for you to manage your security program well, because that can take you from zero to hero or from hero to zero if you're not
Okay.
well aware of the threat landscapes that are out, the threat landscape that it's out there, like different types of attacks, what the threat actors are aiming for right now. Are they aiming for a specific industry? Are they aiming for a specific software? Are they aiming for a specific protocol?
Mhm.
So all of those things you have to take into account. So that combination will help you to better understand the threat landscape and optimize your security program to meet those external needs, but also meet your business needs as well.
Okay, okay, okay. That's a good thing. I never thought about that. Was it the IAM or EAM, something like that?
I am, yeah.
IAM, yeah. I always get confused with those two. But yeah, I didn't think about that. That might grow because of the threats and everything that's going on, the users. So that's a good point. That's a good point. So you think that's gonna be a good entry level in the future as well for people that want to get in?
Yeah, that I would say yes. But of course, again, remember about the foundation. Remember about that
Yes.
solid foundation. Don't forget
Yes.
about that. Be exposed to those uh, experiences that you may get out there,
Uh-huh.
and maybe focus on something that you really like, uh, such as AI or IAM or whatever you like.
Hmm.
But those are the two things that are growing as of today and for the next 2 to 3 years, because there's a lack of good implementation of access control and identity management, and also AI, because it's becoming a thing. People are using it, so that's also something that we need to be aware of.
Okay, okay. That's good to know. That's really good. And well, that's pretty cool. Another thing. So what yeah, I know you mentioned about the seams and everything like that. Do you do you guys use any specific softwares like that for seams, or is just kind of like is this enterprise level stuff? Is there anything public that you guys might use?
No, we don't use any open source things. Unfortunately, I can't disclose
I know
here
you
what
can't
we are
say that.
using,
I was just thinking about the
but
public stuff. Just the
I
public.
can,
You don't have to.
yeah, I can tell that we are using um, well-known and well-established vendors for
Okay.
our security program
Mhm.
as we keep building and keep optimizing our security program. Uh, but knowing what is out there, it helps you to identify the best vendors to partner with.
Mhm.
Uh, that's why it is important to join and attend those events, cybersecurity events, where organizations such as ISC Square and ISACA, they bring over vendors to explain and showcase what they're capable of delivering and provide to your organization, so you can think about it and see your business needs, and maybe uh, perform a demo with them, do a demo with them, and see if it's a fit for your organization.
Mhm.
Um, so at the end of the day, there are so many cybersecurity vendors out there. It's hard to use it. So not only attending those events, but also talking to different people from different industries and see what they are using as a SIEM or as a EDR or DNS security or vulnerability management. All of those things you have to, if you have some positive and constructive feedback for that specific vendor from different people, will help you to uh, will help you will guide you to make the right choice, but also and where you spend your time on, because it takes time, and
Mhm.
it's not as easy to go through a demo with a vendor, know about that vendor, get to know that vendor, know all of the features or the main features that you're looking for, and see if those features meet your requirements. So talk to people, talk to other peers, and be be able to meet with some vendors that you find interesting. Uh, Before attending a meeting with the vendors, just talk to other people and visit their website and
Okay.
get some feedback. And from that point on, you can start looking at them with different eyes and asking the right questions as well.
Okay. Yeah, that's something that I've been interested because like I mentioned, I have my own home lab. So I'm currently experimenting with my own SIEM system. So pretty much kind of getting to that route. So I know I don't need it, but it's something like it's pretty cool just to even have or mess around with, and the firewalls. So that's something that's pretty cool that I've been interested in, just to so I can fully understand what's going on in Seams and how does it work and what type of stuff does it detect and look into. And I've also I don't know if you see my LinkedIn, but I've done a lot of courses through Let's Defend, and it has like the seams that gives me like the web attacks, gives me a little bit of the insights of the cybersecurity. So that's been interesting for me too. Um,
Yeah, and remember, the tool is just as good as the people who operate that tool. Okay,
yeah, that's true. That is very
so
true.
you just
So
don't turn it on and let it go. You know, you have
yeah.
to operate that tool well.
Mhm. So that's something I am going through that journey and trying to understand how it works. So in your perspective, I know we can't really talk about your enterprise stuff, but what tools and softwares do you recommend? Anything like open source for not for enterprise but personal use? Like for I know we mentioned before, like the VirtualBox would be one of them for to build your home labs and stuff like that. What other programs that you may? I know you haven't been too much in the field already, but something that you could be familiar with, or something like, hey, you know what, I recommend this for you trying it out because I've done this in the past. Like any hardware tools, videos, books, what would you say for an entry level position person
So
that's trying to get
yeah,
in?
VirtualBox, Kali Linux, Packet Tracer for networking. What else? If you're able to get your hands on switches and routers, if you're able to get your hands on VMware, if you're able to get your hands in Hyper-V, uh, those are all things that are really helpful in a lab environment. Uh, in terms of books and courses, I would say the certifications as well. So Udemy
Okay,
is a
Udemy is pretty
great
good.
resource. Most of most of the days of the year they are running like promotions and sales. You can get a course for $10. Of course,
Oh,
don't expect
okay.
a lot from it, but at least expect
Good
some good
information.
information from it.
Mhm.
Certifications, CompTIA, ISACA, ISC Square, Cisco, VMware, Microsoft. Those are all AWS. Those are all great certifications that are out there. You can access their website and see the list of each one of the certifications under those vendors slash organizations. Books, again, certification books, but also technical books as well. Learn about TCP/IP, learn about DNS, know how DNS works, know how TCP/IP works. Use Wireshark to do some packet capturing so you can really see what it's underneath the hood when you're on the internet, when you're trying to to open a SSH session or a telnet session or a HTTP or HTTPS session.
Mm.
So you will learn how protocol works, or even RDP, right? RDP is one
Mhm.
of the well-known protocols that
Protocols,
are
yes.
exploited out there.
Yeah.
So everything helps, like videos, YouTube. There's a
Yeah, the YouTube channel you
bunch
gave
of
me,
videos out there.
that one's really good. What was his
Yeah,
name? Dr. Eric Cole.
Eric Cole.
Yeah,
Yeah,
love
Dr.
that guy,
Eric
man.
Cole.
Love that guy.
Yeah.
It's not much of a technical aspect, but it's more of a leadership, and it's great. It's
Exactly.
great.
Yeah. But there are other courses out there that you can buy, trainings, official trainings from SANS, official trainings from ISC Square, ISACA. All of those things you can get nowadays. It's a big
Give me a
difference
quick
from
second.
where it was before.
And my cut off again, man. So it shows about a minute. So Gustavo, what do you think about any videos, books, recommendations, anything like that? What would you say? What is your you? I know you mentioned about a few videos for YouTube. Do you have any recommendations on YouTube, or what subjects should they look into?
Well, it all depends on where you are at your career path in cybersecurity, right? I can't tell you just go with Dr. Eric Cole, for example, because that would be like a leadership role. But
Yes.
try to look for videos that help you to better understand protocols, to better understand cybersecurity. Uh, I don't have one channel, YouTube channel to recommend. What I can recommend is some Udemy trainings that are out there. Try to go with the ones that have the higher rating. That would be the best way to go. And on
Mhm.
YouTube, try to go with the ones that have like more subscribers and also more thumbs up
Okay.
on specific videos. That's a way to gauge um, how good that video would be. But yeah, uh, be yourself. Try to get out there, put yourself out there, and look for things. And if you don't know, ask questions. Ask someone who might know and might help you. That is the best way to go.
Okay. That's good. That's good to know. That's good to know. And this is my curiosity, man. This is our perspective right here too. So I know when we met at the event. What got you? What grabbed your attention when I came in? What was your thing? It was like, oh, I know I remember this guy. What was I that was like the starting conversation. So how did that come up to you? What got you like intrigued of myself?
It was pretty much the videos that you were posting, and I believe those videos were recorded quite a while ago
Uh-huh.
when you were an entrepreneur. I like when people try to do something else, try to do something different besides the status quo, right? So
Mhm.
they want to spread knowledge, they want to serve other people, and when they are authentic, when you feel that they are a good human being, that's when that's what I felt, and that's how I saw your videos, and that's why I approached you when we met at that event. Um, we were connected on LinkedIn, but we we didn't meet until then. Um, and that's what sparked me, like that entrepreneurship type of approach, and also the willingness to help other people uh, without asking for anything in return or asking for too little in return. Just
Mhm.
like being yourself and being a good person that is just trying to make an impact on someone else's lives.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe I'm a big believer on helping, just for the reason that when I started my journey, I didn't really get much help in the beginning. So I pretty much had to learn everything through the whole process until I did get the guidance and understanding through I was working for a nonprofit organization because I was trying to build my experience. Um, like I was literally trying to work anything. So I was doing dishwashing and at this nonprofit organization just to build my experience. And well, this nonprofit organization had a computer class, and I started working with this nonprofit organization, and I was like, I told the person right there that was running this computer class is like, hey, you know what? Can I learn? Can I learn from you guys? I'll clean the I'll clean the offices. I'll throw the garbage away. just give me an opportunity to understand the computers, and if he can teach me through the whole process. And that's pretty much how my journey started. And if it was not for, he's also a professor for Sacramento State College.
Okay.
So he pretty much gave me the opportunity, and I felt that pretty much guided me. And I was like, and I told myself, you know what? I feel like somebody took the initiative, somebody took the chance on me. Let me do that to the next person. Let me give them the opportunity. Uh, and that's always been like my huge belief, because I feel like in the beginning I didn't have that much guidance. I was It was a whole different scenario.
Yeah.
I came in, and I came in an environment that wasn't the safest or the best area. It was where I was located. It was a lot of gang activity. Grew up around a lot of friends like that, and I didn't like that lifestyle, and I wasn't, from my perspective. I never wanted to be in that lifestyle either. So that's how pretty much changed my life, and I came out pretty much in humble beginnings, and understanding how the struggle was. And that's the reason I wanted to help people and show people, is like, you know what, you don't have to have all these certifications to make it, or you don't have to be this educated to make it. Because when I started in the beginning, um I don't know if you know, but I speak Spanish. And in the beginning, it was really tough for me, because my primary language is Spanish, and it was really tough for me to understand and even communicate. I started learning English around, not even in high school times, but possibly, yeah, high school times, around when I was possibly around 17 years old. Even though I was born in the United States and everything raised, I just never took the initiative to learn English. So I just pretty much, it was a tough journey to understand English and understand all this stuff. And I feel I was rejected multiple times in school for computer classes. So because, first of all, my grades, and second of all, my language barrier was stopping me to a lot of stuff. So that was a motivation to me. A motivation to me to start proceeding. It was like, you know what? Okay, let me improve my English. Okay, I've improved that. Let me improve my grammar. I've improved that. Okay, let me improve my computer skills. I've improved that. And from there, I just started proceeding and proceeding and proceeding. And that's when I turned to an entrepreneur. And now where I'm at. Pretty
That's
much,
good, man.
I skipped a lot of years, but that was the main story of it.
Yeah,
That's,
as you know, I'm from Brazil, so English is
yeah,
not my first language.
yeah.
Portuguese is my first language, and I did learn English back in Brazil. I was also an exchange student here in the US for 1 year, which improved my English 100% fold. And I kept my English when I went back to Brazil by reading books, by watching TV series, by watching movies, trying
That's
not
pretty
to
much.
look at the subtitles. So, and try to keep up uh, with English by working for companies that were and are multinational companies. So you would have the opportunity to talk to people from
Mhm.
outside of Brazil. But yeah, be humble, grow within your time, be focused, be resilient, and uh, keep it up, because at the end of the day, you will learn something out of it. Either
Yeah.
if it's language or technical skill or soft skill, you will you'll be successful. So just don't let anybody else tell you can't do something.
Mhm.
Those people, they don't know how to do it, they can't do it, and they will tell you that you can't do it.
Mhm.
So don't let them tell you you can't do it. You can, and you will do it. It's only a matter of you starting executing on what you want to do. So
Mhm.
that's another take for you.
Yep, that's the way I look at it too. All the failures and rejections that I had before, that pushed me to be the way I am now. Made me even more like, you know what, I gotta be better of this. I gotta, not to prove them wrong, but to fully prove myself, to
Yeah.
understand myself, and understand that I could do it better than I could have. And yeah, every day I'm trying to do it. My mission is just to grow a little bit better, do a little bit better. And you've seen that in my LinkedIn, like pretty much you can see me spamming all the time.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
but I like to provide that motivation and just give that people that reality check that it's possible. Doesn't matter where you're coming from, doesn't matter what environment you're coming from, doesn't matter what language barrier you're at, you can still do it. And
Yep.
you're a great example too. You came from Brazil. I bet you it was a hard transition because you had to go through that cycle again. Starting a new language is hard, really hard.
Yeah. But if you're focused, you can get it, I'm sure.
Yeah, everything's possible. No, but that's good. That's good. So yeah, what would you want to say in the end, man? Do you have any uh any advice for anybody that wants to get in, or any advice for anybody that just maybe motivational advice? What would you think?
I think we have talked a lot about motivation and how to get and break into cybersecurity. I would say, first of all, thank you for having me in this podcast.
Thank you.
I'm very happy and I'm thrilled to be part of it. I hope we can make things better, help people out there with your podcast, but also give people that incentive that they need, that push that they need to get started.
Mhm.
So at the end of the day, in summary, I would like to say, if you're willing and looking to get into cybersecurity, just do it, get it done. Make sure that you go after things. Nothing is going to be served to you in a silver platter. Things are gonna be tough at the beginning, but I can assure you, after a while, it's not gonna be as tough as it was at the beginning, just like everything in life.
Mhm.
Um, if you need a mentor, or if you need someone to guide you, to teach you, to educate you, go after a person. Go after someone who can help you. Uh, attend events that are cheap or free of charge, because I know sometimes it can be a hardship on people to attend security events such as RSA conference, or those
Yeah.
bigger events. But there are events out there that are free or very inexpensive, that will
Mhm.
give you the opportunity to network with different people from different industries, from different mindset, from different countries. They will always have something to add to you, and you will also have something to add to them, uh, as an experience, either as a personal experience or a professional experience.
Okay.
Okay, so, and if you want to connect with me, feel free to add me on LinkedIn. Uh, Efren will be posting my LinkedIn profile on
Yeah, all
on
over
the
the places,
on the
man.
social platforms. So feel free to connect with me. Feel free to ask questions. I'm um, I'm a truly believer that if we can serve people well, they will be successful, and it's always a two-way street where
Mhm.
you help me, I'll help you. I help you, you help me. It doesn't matter on what you're helping that person with, but if you're willing to do it and being humble, it's going to be good.
Yep, that's good. And always my belief. Always be humble, respectful, and just keep working hard. You'll definitely
Mm-hmm.
get there.
True.
You can't have that ego, man. Everybody has that ego. No, that ego is no good.
Keep your ego aside. Leave
Yeah.
at the door.
That's true. That's true. Okay, I think we're pretty much done. I think
All
we're
right.
we're we're able to get everything done, and I appreciate, man. First of all, man, I appreciate everything that you've done, and appreciate for taking the time. And sorry for these little delays that we're having, but I'm glad that we were able to get it done.
Thank you for Efren. Appreciate your time as well, man.
Appreciate it, man. It's not the last time, man. We'll be definitely connecting.
For sure. Absolutely.
Okay. All right, then. Thank you again. All right.
Yep. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.